1. I work for a brewery and slightly upscale restaurant. It was late afternoon, just before the AM to PM shift change. A slightly older couple, maybe 40s, early 50s, comes in. They sit in my section and go straight to the menu. I introduce myself, which they have little interest in. The husband orders a Coke and his wife a water. I grab the drinks, return, and ask if they're ready. They respond with, "We've barely looked at the menu." Annoying, but not a problem considering it's relatively slow. After about 5 minutes, I return to the table to take an order. The wife asks me why we don't have a tomato basil pasta dish on the menu that she saw online. I explain to her I know the dish she was describing, but it has since been taken off our menu maybe 6 months prior. She went on to tell me how she recently became vegan and saw an article online about this dish and came there specifically for it. Fun fact about this dish, the tomato basil sauce was made with cream, but it also was made with prosciutto, so not at all vegan. I told the woman, however, that I had good news for her. We were one of the only locations to have created a fully vegan menu, and I would be more than happy to bring that and discuss her options. She was not happy about that answer. She insisted she came here only for that item, and that the article she read said we would have it, and she even saw a picture of what it looked like. I asked if she could show me the article so I could understand where she was coming from. She pulled out her phone and showed me. The first thing I noticed was the article was from 2 years prior, when the item first hit the old menu, and the second was that the picture shown wasn't even of our food. At this point I realized that I should have tried to get my manager, but I'll get to that in a second. I explained to her the article was outdated, and the food shown wasn't ours, but that seemed to infuriate her. She stood up and got in my face, claiming I have been nothing but rude and dismissive of her and her husband, and they would be leaving. I tried to apologize. If I came off that way, I was sorry, but she said I didn't mean it and demanded to see my manager, which I said I would grab him. I went looking in the office, the kitchen, the back bev station, the closed dining room, and the brewery. This man was nowhere to be found. The woman starts shouting for me, asking where he is, and I say I'm trying to find him as I'm rushing through the building. She storms out with his business card from the front, and my manager comes out from the employee bathroom, seemingly taking a very long and inconvenient dump. This woman writes in next day saying how rude and unhelpful and arrogant I was, when all she wanted was a simple dish she looked forward to trying. I re-explained everything to him, but he gave me a write-up anyway, saying I should have gotten him involved. I don't know what I could have done differently. 2. I'm from New York City, but I'm currently studying in a different city. It's pretty small, at least to me, since NYC. And there aren't very many Asian people. I am Asian American. I work as a waitress part-time in a sushi restaurant. The restaurant is run by a Korean couple. I love my restaurant, but I've noticed some microaggressions. So many people assume that our staff must all be Japanese, since we all work in a sushi restaurant. I swear that at least once a day I'll have someone ask me if they're pronouncing something off the menu correctly. Some customers will also ask me to speak in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. No one in the restaurant speaks Japanese. Unless it's Korean, none of us can help you out. This doesn't upset me that much, because it's not ridiculous to assume something like this. It's just funny when I tell these customers the truth and they look shocked. Sometimes customers will also ask me where I'm from, which is harmless, until I respond New York City. And it's the wrong answer. It must be impossible for people to be Asian and American. Apologies, I must have missed a memo. And then when I reply with my usual answer, so many customers don't even know where the country is. Why did you even bother to ask if you're ignorant? Or worse off, some customers will try to guess my ethnicity. I'm not a trivia quiz, thank you very much. You getting it right wouldn't earn you any points, and I sure as hell won't be giving you a discount. People also bow to us. It's usually the elderly, but still, please stop this. You look like a fool. Bowing is only done as a greeting in Asia, or in areas that are heavily populated with immigrants. This city is neither of those, and even then, not all Asian cultures bow. You literally look ridiculous. It's like if you went into a Mexican restaurant, you wouldn't suddenly break out a sombrero hat and maracas. So why here? Imagine bowing to Americans in public because you think you're being respectful. Could never be me. This pisses me off so much because I'm not even from Asia, so what the fuck? Please greet me like you greet any other American. I think that what I hate the most is when customers ask about my ethnicity, and then they immediately go, "I thought so, your English sounded different." Excuse me, I was born and raised in NYC. Thank you very fucking much. My English is perfect. You know how I know? It was my first language. You need to take several seats and just lay down. This kind of turned into a mini rant, sorry about that, but ignorant customers really need to get it together. We cannot be having you spilling your bowl all over the place because someone is going to give it to you one day. That being said, I also have many, many wonderful and not ignorant customers. They are always appreciated, and they always make my day. 3. I manage a cake shop and cafe. We specialize in ready-to-buy birthday cakes. We're a very small store. Pretty much from every corner you can hear what's going on out the front. We also have a camera view of the entire shop front, with a viewing screen at the back, so I saw and heard everything in the lead up to my encounter with the customer. Just over a week ago on a Friday, a very busy day for us, a lady came into the store to buy a birthday cake for her son. Should be a very normal situation. I don't usually pay attention to what's going on in front of house, because that's what the service staff are for. I was busy out the back making custom cake orders for the weekend, but my ears perked when I heard her asking for discounts on the products in the display case. Our display is always full of fresh cakes. The cake she ended up picking was only finished and ready for sale about an hour before she brought it. I had a bad feeling she was going to be a problem customer, so I was getting ready to go out to speak with her if needed. But she ended up happily getting the cake after being told the cakes were fresh, and we had no discounted cake today by the service staff. That's the end, right? No. About 3 hours later, my coworker, I'll call him D from here on, takes a call. I didn't hear both sides, but D was explaining it to me as the conversation was going on. I was elbow deep in cheesecake, so I didn't just grab the call myself. So this lady's saying she bought a cake earlier today after she ate a sprinkle out of the box that fell off the cake and says it's disgusting. She wants a full refund or a replacement cake because she thinks the sprinkles are stale. I tell Dee to ask her what it tastes like and explain the sprinkles are just condensed sugar and coloring. They don't taste great on their own. And the batch in question was delivered fresh to us just 2 days before. She asks Dee to promise we will replace the cake. He explains we can't promise that, but we would be happy to come up with a suitable solution for her if she could bring the cake and her receipt back into the store so we could understand what's going on. She screams at him over the phone. I couldn't understand what she was saying, but I could hear the screaming coming from the phone. She hangs up before anything else could be said. 20 minutes later, I see her enter the store with the cake box in hand. She will be called Crazy Cake Bitch, or CCB from here on. D goes out to try to help CCB. He opens the cake and sees CCB has jammed her own pirate decorations and candles into the cake thoroughly. The top's destroyed. Some of the frosting is squished onto the side of the box and the happy birthday writing on top is damaged. We have a pretty firm refund policy. Once the cake has left the store, it cannot be refunded for change of mind. We are not meant to allow foreign objects into the bakery, her pirate decorations. After going through CCB's complaints again, D offers to directly fix the problem, remove the sprinkles, and replace them with a new layer of cream and chocolate flakes, or different sprinkles of her choice, free of charge for her troubles. He also offers to fix the other damage she caused free as well. This is not good enough. CCB yells at him that is bullshit, and that is not good enough. The sprinkles taste like shit. I need a replacement cake or a full refund. D says he needs to talk with the manager and asks for her receipt. She doesn't have it. D brings the cake back to show me. CCB is angry, and I want to deal with this as cleanly as possible. So I call the owner and ask for advice. The owner thinks the customer is shit-talking to get freebies, but agrees it would be better to have this end cleanly. Tells me to give CCB a half refund, and offer to still fix the cake and give it back. I take the cake back out to her and explain what I can do. I make sure I'm as kind and apologetic as possible. At this point, she has been in the store for 7 minutes total. The store is also full of other customers. She still complains it's not good enough, and asks why I can't just give her a full refund and a brand new cake. I say I'm very sorry. It has left the store and has had objects put into it, so we can't take it back. The sprinkles are fresh and there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it. I'm sorry you don't like them. We are more than happy to replace them and refund half the money for the trouble. The cake is on a little bench between us. Our conversation has lasted 22 seconds. I see a look come over her face, and she says under her breath, "You know what?" and grabs for the cake. I think, oh, she's gonna storm out. Nope. CCB opens the box, lifts it open, and brings the cake down on me at full force. Just some perspective, I'm a 5'6", medium build, mid-20s female. CCB is at least 6'1" and rather large. I'm lucky that I'm quick enough to get my hands up to stop the cake so it doesn't come down in my head. But of course it's a light sponge cake with cream, so it breaks up and showers all over me and the shop floor. CCB immediately legs it out of the store. D comes out from the back, having seen it from the security camera screen, and follows her to the parking lot, and takes a picture of her and her car. D says she tried to run him over getting out. Another customer also follows her and gets her license plate as well. I'm still standing there, covered in cake, in a shop full of customers. I excuse myself at the back, take off the cake-covered apron and hat, wash it off my arms and face, then go out to apologize to the other customers in the store and start cleaning the floor. The panic starts to settle in me, and I start feeling a strained pain in my right arm where I took most of the force of the cake box hit. My brain's still pretty foggy, so I don't think to call police or security. This is an insane story as it is, but it just gets worse. Not even half an hour later, I'm still cleaning cake from everything, by the way. D takes a phone call from our regional manager. I'll call him RM. It's a franchise. We are singularly owned but governed by a head office. RM is furious and demands we will be giving CCB's husband a full refund, saying it's now company policy that we give out refunds no matter what. D asks if he's heard the full story. RM says, "No, I don't care. Give the damn refund. Husband will be in to pick it up in 20 minutes. Then hangs up. When D tells me, I immediately try to call back, no answer. So I call my store owner. Owner is pissed RM stepped in to do that, but tells us to comply for the moment because if she was violent before, we don't want to aggravate the husband. I have no clue how they contacted RM so quickly. The only people with access to his number are employees. My best guess is she went to a store in the franchise and lied her way to getting them to call him. Pretty much on the dot, the husband comes into the store. He's quiet and takes the money from D. We get him to sign a form saying he's taken the money. Just as he's about to leave, he shouts back, "So this means you'll delete the picture?" D says no. Husband repeats, "You'll be deleting the photos." I walk out the front stupidly. I now realize and say, "I won't. They're going straight to the police." Husband looks me dead in the eye, points at me and says, "If you do, I'll be back, and it won't be cake you'll be cleaning off the floor." I shout back as he's leaving, "Now I can add threats to my police report." Stupid courage is apparently a symptom when I get scared. I finished up everything I needed to and updated the owner and asked her to download and send me the CCTV. And I headed to the police station to make a report. No way am I letting them get away with treating people like this. I made the initial report that day and was going to come back with the CCTV the next day. But oh, it gets crazier. I get a message through our store's Facebook from someone who knows CCB, including screenshots from the CCB's Facebook of her bragging about the entire incident. She goes as far as admitting to the assault and attempting to get her husband to threaten physical harm if we went to the police. So I took all that to the police too, as well as going to the doctor to get my arm checked. He recorded elbow and tricep sprains, damage and swelling. Also got him to make a note of emotional stress and anxiety from the threats. The investigator thinks it will go to court for assault, but I'm still waiting to hear any more for them. Barely slept this week. My arm's getting better quickly, so that's good at least. I'm so paranoid every day at work they'll come back or find where I live, but I couldn't stay quiet and let them get away with it. I'll update if anything new happens. It's been really nice to get this off my chest and write it down. I would love to post the footage with this, but I'm worried it could affect the case. 4. So I'm the manager of a popular fast food chain, and our store is crazy when it comes to service because of the demands of the owner. You get better service in our dingy little burger joint than a 5-star restaurant. We rush to open the door for our customers as they enter and leave. We serve them at their table, clear away the dishes, and we bring mints at the end of their meal. I'd also like to point out that we are not allowed to take tips, and if customers do leave tips, it goes to the owners. Also, we always go to the table after the customer has had a few bites to make sure everything is to their satisfaction. Anyways, this EM was dining in, and apparently she is a regular, though I've never seen her before. She comes up to me in the middle of a huge rush. "Excuse me." "Hello, can I help you?" "Your employee was really rude. I want her fired." "May I ask what she did to upset you?" "I told her my son's order tasted disgusting and he refuses to eat it. Your employee refused to get me a new one." She hands me the receipt, which had about $50 worth of food on it, and that is a lot of food for a fast food place. "I'm sorry about that. I'll send someone over to pick up whatever your son didn't eat, and we'll get your order made." "What do you mean?" "We can dispose of the food that he didn't like so you don't have to clean it yourself." "We already ate the food." "You ate the food?" "Yes." "You said it was disgusting." "It was the worst food I've had in my life." "Ma'am, I can't remake your entire order again. You've eaten everything. If your son didn't like it, I can definitely remake his order." "But it was gross." At this point, her server overhears and joins in the conversation. "Ma'am, I asked you if everything was to your satisfaction a couple of minutes after we gave you the order, and you responded, 'Everything is fine.'" "Well, it wasn't. Just give me the whole order." "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I cannot do that." She went nuts. "I can't believe this is happening. I've never been treated with such disrespect. My son deserves to eat with his family. He will feel self-conscious with everyone watching him." "Ma'am, I am only able to fix what was wrong with the order, which is your son's food." "The service here used to be amazing. It took us 3 years to beat you guys to the door. I told all of my church friends how good you guys were. Now you want to embarrass me?" Just to clarify, it was policy in the restaurant to open the door for customers. That's what she meant by beating us to the door. "I'm sorry you were not satisfied with the service today." "I'm going to tell all of my church friends about you and your scam. We're going to get you fired." She proceeds to storm out without her children, who are scurrying after her once they realize that she wasn't coming back. I brushed this off and sent my report in to the owners in case they called corporate. 1 week later, I'm working the same shift, and in walks EM sans children. She comes up to me and smiles. "Hi, I'm wondering if you're hiring here?" "What?" "I'm looking for a job, and I absolutely love the service here. I want to apply." "What?" "You want to work here?" "Yes, your service is amazing. It took us 3 years to beat you guys to the door. That's how good you guys are. We always recommend our church friends here. I really want to be part of this team." At this point, I'm at a loss for words. I put on the sweetest smile and say, "Lady, I can assure you that I will never hire you, and I will make sure that none of our other locations will hire you. You are the last person I want on my team, so I will not be accepting your application." I don't think anyone has ever spoken to her like that before, because she just stood there with her jaw flapping open and shut, trying to process what happened. To be honest, I wasn't even sure what happened. I had never spoken to a customer like that before, and it was very thrilling. Since she didn't say anything, I continued. "You are more than welcome to tell your church friends what I said." And I walked to the door and held it open for her. She was silent when she walked out, and didn't even acknowledge me when I wished her a lovely day. I am still Canadian after all. 5. For this story, it is important for you to know that there is a small foyer with a wardrobe in my workplace right before the main area where people sit and eat. The restaurant is mainly bottom-to-top windows, but the foyer is sectioned off by actual walls, so you can barely figure out what's going on in there if no one is actively looking. Oh, and we have a disclaimer written on a sign at the wardrobe that our restaurant is not liable for stolen items. See where this is going? Cue a family of 4 a few weekends ago. Mother, father, 2 sons. Not necessarily friendly when we greet them, but not obnoxious or rude either. Yet. They are seated at a nice window place close to my section, so I don't serve them, but can see what's going on and what they're doing. Not much of note happens during their stay, except that they are increasingly rude and demanding to my colleague who's serving their table, without her having done anything wrong. On one occasion, they complained about their food being too cold, even though it was still effing steaming. Another time, they called me over from my section all the way across the restaurant for another order of drinks because, supposedly, my colleague was ignoring them. I saw her come by the table to ask for refills literally 2 minutes earlier. We have these obnoxious types from time to time, and they are the worst, especially when the children take after their parents and behave in the same disrespectful way. Some other minor things come up. The whole family gives us death stares for their entire stay, and leaves no tip on a $60 bill. They pack up their things and leave to hopefully never return to our restaurant. Except they do 1 minute later. This is where I get to experience these people in all their glory. The mother storms back in through the foyer, the older son in tow. I worked the section next to the foyer, but it was quite a busy day, so naturally I didn't have my eyes on the wardrobe all the time.
Our umbrella is missing.
Excuse me.
My son's umbrella is missing, and I know someone stole it. I want you to take care of it immediately.
I'm sorry someone took your son's umbrella. Most likely someone else mistook it for their own. That happens from time to time. There is not much I can do about it at the moment. Maybe someone...
I don't care. We want the umbrella back. It was your responsibility to keep an eye on it, so you need to fix this right now.
Again, I'm sorry, but our restaurant is not liable for the wardrobe, and there is a big sign that states the same right at the entrance to the foyer. Sometimes things get mixed up, and people bring in items they accidentally took with them a few days later. The same could have happened with your umbrella. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few tables to tend to. You are more than welcome to check if someone brought back your umbrella in a day or two. Muttering to her son, she says,
Whatever.
I race back to my tables because I've been held up for way too long. Take a few orders, bring out some drinks, and so on and forth to people. When I notice that the mother is still standing at the entrance after 5 minutes, brooding. So I head back because, quite frankly, she's blocking the entrance and I just want to have her out of my face at this point. Excuse me, but is there anything else I can help you with? Because if not, then...
I'm taking another umbrella.
What?
Since my son's umbrella was stolen, I'm going to take another one with me. He can't go to school without it.
Madam, you can't do that.
Oh, I can. We came here with an umbrella, and we are leaving with an umbrella.
She then hands me an umbrella out of nowhere and gives me a demanding stare.
Go ask your guests if this is theirs. If nobody says yes, we are taking it.
You want me to ask every single table in the restaurant if that is their umbrella?
I don't see why that's a problem.
Your umbrella was stolen, and you want me to assist you in stealing another one in return. That's hardly legal.
I didn't say anything about stealing. This is compensation, and my son needs his umbrella.
Madam, I won't help you take someone else's property. I'm sorry you are missing an umbrella, but there is nothing I can do for you. You are free to check in a few days if someone returned the umbrella, but besides that, nothing can be done. Have a nice weekend. She tries to protest, sees my manager approaching, and just tells me,
You can bet I will be back on Monday.
With her son in tow, who starts to throw a fit about his umbrella while they leave, I check that they don't help themselves at the wardrobe with yet another umbrella, and return the one umbrella she audaciously demanded as compensation. I share the story with my manager. We have a good laugh and wonder if that woman will ever return. She did not come back, but an umbrella looking suspiciously similar to the one she tried to steal was returned to us on Thursday, the week after. I wonder who could possibly miss it. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates number 85. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Alright, recording almost done, one story to go, then I'm having dinner, which I just need to heat up in the microwave because it's already cooked. As usual, there will likely be a stream at some point in the weekend. I'm not yet sure if it's going to be tonight or Sunday, but I will certainly schedule it a few hours in advance, just so I don't catch anyone off guard. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.